Measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. They both weighed in under the 160-pound limit, and overnight, Golovkin has rehydrated up a little bit more than 10 pounds to 170, whereas Lemieux has rehydrated more than 15 pounds up to 175.
Здравствуйте, друзья, болельщики бокса. Ну, так как мы предрекали в нашем предсказании 3 недели тому назад, праздник бокса наступил сегодня, 17 октября 2015 года, когда Геннадий Головкин из Казахстана и Давид Лемьё из Канады будут драться и попытаться. Несколько минут тому назад в раздевалку к Геннадию зашел знаменитый, значит, Дональд Трамп. Это он баллотируется на чемпионский, то есть на чемпионский, на президентский, значит, на президентское кресло в Америке. Он один из кандидатов на президента Америки, знаменитый, значит, мультимиллиардер, знаменитый человек. Зашел к Геннадию в раздевалку, поздравил его и пожелал ему победы, значит, пожал ему руку, обнял его. И я думаю, что это тоже в копилку Геннадия входит. Ну, как видите, праздничная обстановка. Это бой века. Я так считаю, что это должен быть такой взрывной бой. И как мы в предсказании уже сказали, что Геннадий должен выиграть, но мы посмотрим, что случится на самом-то деле. Значит, Давид Лемьё обещал, что он какие-то сюрпризы сделает Геннадию. Ну, я не знаю, какие сюрпризы, он может что-то делать Геннадию. Геннадий видел все это уже, видел он. Если Лемьё станет как левша драться, может быть, Геннадий видел левшей, он их ложил на пол штабелями, так что с этой стороны сюрприза не будет. Единственное, что, чтобы избежать, значит, Лемьё от быстрого поражения, это хорошо бегать, значит, двигаться влево, вправо, латерально, то есть не только вперед-назад, а именно в сторону уходить от Геннадия. И если надо, значит, обнимать его, зажимать руки, что, в принципе, не очень красиво, но что поделаешь, если тебя бьют, можно так делать. Не стыдно. А значит, и может быть, если он таким образом будет бегать, то ему удастся дожить до второй половины боя, скажем, после 7-8 раунда, когда его молодость может сыграть ему на пользу. Значит, Лемьё 26 лет. Геннадию 33 уже, и тогда, может быть, он сумеет как-то избежать, значит, такого массивного смертельного удара, да, Геннадия, хотя мне, честно говоря, в это трудно поверить. 12 And it's all brought to you by K2 Promotions and Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions in association with Taken Boxing Promotions and Eye of the Tiger Management. Live on HBO pay-per-view, this bout is sponsored by Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, BI Group, and Cessna Bank. Sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Chairman Thomas Hoover. Executive Director David Berlin, WBA President Gilberto Mendoza, IBF President Darrell F. Peoples, IBO President Ed Levine, and WBC President Mauricio Suleiman. In attendance at ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout: Glenn Feldman, Julie Letterman, and Steve Weisfeld. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Steve Willis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. Madison Square Garden, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, with head trainer Abel Sanchez, standing 5 feet 10 and a half, official weight 159 1/2 pounds. This Olympic medalist now has a perfect professional record consisting of 33 fights, 33 victories, including 30 wins by knockout, with 17 KOs in 3 rounds or less, and he has won 20 consecutive fights by knockout. He's recognized with having the greatest KO percentage in middleweight championship history from Karaganda, Kazakhstan and California, USA, the reigning, defending, undefeated interim WBC, IBO, WBA, middleweight champion of the world, Gennady Golovkin. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, with his head trainer, Mark Ramsey. He stands 5 feet 9 and officially weighs in at 159 3/4 pounds. Wearing purple, his outstanding professional record, 34 victories, including 31 knockouts, with 27 KOs in 3 rounds or less. From Montreal, Quebec, Canada, presenting the reigning, defending IBF middleweight champion of the world.
Значит, как мы уже говорили, этот бой, если не будут идти оба вперед, как они обычно идут в таком манере, в таком стиле, этот бой должен быть скоротечным. Если, значит, будет Лемьё идти вперед на Геннадия, то если он будет убегать, то это дольше будет бой, а если он будет прямо идти на Геннадия, то, скорее всего, это будет очень быстро закончено. Значит, он весьма хорош, этот Лемьё, как мы уже говорили, он почти как Головкин. Как мы сказали в предсказании, он как сырая версия Головкина, очень остро атакующий. Значит, но он открывается, он открыт для левого хука. И я думаю, что у Геннадия левый хук в арсенале одно из основного оружия. Он должен его попасть левым хуком, скорее всего, или же через руку справа. Что-то пройдет, одно из этих двух. Ну теперь давайте будем не зевать и не мигать. Бой начинается. Никто не мигает. Я умолкаю. Сейчас будем смотреть.
Golovkin landing his jab early on.
Doing a good job of using that jab to get distance, to make the stronger puncher deal with that jab first to get beyond it.
And it's a big difference in the two fighters because Lemieux isn't much of a jabber. He works mostly with his power shots. And Golovkin does have a jab, one of the best in the sport.
First time we ever seen him come out and use it this much, but it's a perfect opportunity for him to, because he's a boxer puncher fighting against a strictly puncher.
Well, Lemieux has a puncher's chance. That's his best chance. And we've seen Golovkin hit. He's there to be hit at times.
He's not taking any chances to get hit so far in this first round.
He's using his jab to keep David Lemieux at bay, and so far Lemieux hasn't tried anything to get him past the jab and into Golovkin's wheelhouse. Lemieux reaching with a body shot, reaching with another body shot, and not getting there. Golovkin has established space with that jab, and he's not letting Lemieux in. Jab, jab, jab.
It's like an experienced fighter against a guy who can fight, but not really the best at boxing. Use that jab, make him negate that first.
CompuBox numbers show that over the course of his career, Golovkin is one of the 3 most prolific jabbers in the sport, along with Vladimir Klitschko and 1 other fighter. He lands his jab at a constant rate.
Golovkin has one-punch knockout power, but he's methodical in the application of his power, and frequently boxes carefully in the early rounds, especially here against Lemieux's power.
Careful first round for Golovkin, but an effective first round so far as he's landing his jab, and Lemieux hasn't landed much of anything. Jab, jab, Golovkin sticking it into Lemieux's face and keeping him back. Jab, right hand. Lemieux missing again. It's all Golovkin early.
Well, he's trying to take Lemieux out of the fight early by backing him up with that jab, making him fight uncharacteristically of himself. He's used to being the attacker, the stalker. Right now, Triple G is trying to stalk him to make him feel less dominant in the ring.
Tremendous concentration by Golovkin, and you see the amazing number already from CompuBox. He's landed more than 20 jabs in the round.
Lemieux may already feel that he has to load up on the home run left hook. He's done it once.
Right hand to the body by Golovkin. Hasn't really tried to get close. Lemieux finally lands a body shot. Another body shot for Lemieux. But all in all, a Gennady Golovkin round dominated by his jab.
Ну, как вы видели, Геннадий отлично выбрасывает джебы. Он его как пробный такой, значит, как стык, да, и держит его, выбирает дистанцию и пристегивает туда свои справа, удары справа. И он уже нащупал дистанцию. Он явно выиграл первый раунд. И он хорошо достигает его, значит, джебы очень хорошо достигают цели.
Okay, feign attack up. Try to go even stronger. Okay, go on the defensive. Go on the defensive.
Lemieux's French-Canadian trainer, Mark Ramsey, has been his trainer ever since the first loss of his career against Marco Antonio Rubio. That was when he broke his relationship with Russ Anber and brought in Ramsey. And the general consensus is he's been a better fighter since then. Golovkin lands a right hand. Golovkin lands another right hand. Lemieux trying to be more aggressive in this round, lands a jab, and gets inside for the first time.
You gotta be careful because Triple G is throwing some big shots between his punches, and those are the ones that do the most damage.
Hooking off the jab, lands that, jabs again, lands that. Landed 26 jabs in round 1, which is simply colossal.
So far, the difference in the fight is Golovkin's boxing skill.
Of course, we knew that.
Yep, he's outclassing him with his skill, and Lemieux has to figure out a way.
Видно сразу, что у Гены тайминг гораздо лучше. Он его встречает, и он его атакует гораздо более осмысленно. И все удары они хорошо идут, и он многие удары достигает цели. А со стороны Лемьё он почти ничего не приземляет, удары не достигают цели буквально. То есть технически Головкин уже видно, что он превосходит Лемьё.
You wonder how long Lemieux's confidence is going to hold up under this constant jab assault.
Yeah, that jab is killing his confidence by the second.
He's not missing.
It's not a normal jab Golovkin throws. It's a jab that lands like some right hands.
Kind of like Kovalev's jab.
It snaps Lemieux's head back and disorients him.
Вот еще один красивый джаб, такой быстрый, и у Лемьё голова отскакивает назад.
Right hand was blocked, but knocked Lemieux back a little bit anyway. Jab lands again. Jab lands again. Golovkin almost caught him with a left hook there. And there's a hard shot from Lemieux. Right hand to the body. But biggest punch he's landed so far.
Golovkin, it seems to me, was able to roll it with his shoulder and make it glance off.
Yeah, really smart, showing some very good defensive tactics here. Golovkin is better than we've ever seen this early in a fight before, I believe.
Now the question is, will a frustrated Lemieux begin lunging? In which case, Golovkin might have a chance to catch him with a power shot coming in. Body shot by Golovkin. Right hand lands. Right hand lands again. Knocks Lemieux into the ropes. Left hook for Golovkin. Right hand lands again. Phenomenal accuracy. Unbelievable accuracy early on for the Kazakhstan.
Хорошо ушел сейчас.
Lemieux has never had to fight at this pace before in his life, I guarantee you.
Hard right hand by Golovkin. Well, if the first round was good, this one was even better for Gennady Golovkin.
Listen, David, don't let him get with jabs, okay? You're not having a good distance. You don't have a good distance with you. You need to block him or go defensive on him, okay?
I want to see off the jab. I want to see a little hook off the jab. Then make him think outside, inside, okay? Deep breath.
Over the years, watching CompuBox numbers, surely you've gotten a sense of what constitutes a truly great round. In round two, Gennady Golovkin landed 43 out of 77 punches, 56%. Complete dominance of David Lemieux so far in the fight, but that doesn't mean Lemieux's out of it. He can knock Golovkin for a loop with any one shot if he gets into position and lands.
Lemieux is trying to box responsibly against Golovkin, but hard to imagine him winning a boxing match. He said that he's not going to load up against Golovkin, and then laughed and said, or maybe I will. I have to see when I get in there. And pretty soon, it may be a good idea to load up against Golovkin to at least give yourself a chance to land something big.
This is true, but also, Max, it's live by the gun, die by the gun. The best time for him to catch you is when you try to load up.
How many jabs can you eat before you begin to make bad decisions? Matthew Macklin was quite articulate on the subject of how difficult it is to think in the ring against Golovkin with the pressure he puts on. Body shot by Golovkin, right on the solar plexus.
Wonderful left to the body.
Lemieux's handling this very well so far, but he's getting hammered, particularly by the jab.
You got to give Lemieux a lot of credit too, though, Jim. Like you say, he didn't have to take this fight for his first title defense.
Лemieux пошел в атаку. Гене сейчас надо его наказывать тут же на контратаке. Наказать. Вот так вот, вот так.
Because no other high-quality middleweight wanted to do this.
That's my point. So I think it should be mentioned that he's in a fight that he didn't have to get into, one that he knows he was going to be the underdog coming into, but he's here trying to give it all he has, and he really wants to try to win it.
And he's earned a lot of respect
Опа,
from boxing
хороший
fans
боковой
for
прошел.
stepping up and doing what he's doing here. Golovkin with good defense. Lemieux hasn't been able to pierce it so far. And that jab just keeps coming, flowing like water. Body shot.
Джеб у него, он как гвозди забивает, все проходит.
Tremendous left-hand work by Gennady Golovkin.
Класс.
When Lemieux is at his best, he fights in a more intrepid style than this, and Golovkin has already taken that away from him.
With that jab.
A very calm David Lemieux agreed with us in the meeting yesterday. Yes, I see every reason to believe that Gennady's a better boxer than me, and yes, his amateur career is much deeper and prolific than mine. It's my job to make sure that none of that matters. So far,
Сейчас Геннадий демонстрирует свое превосходное техническое мастерство. Значит, вопреки некоторым из тех, значит, экспертов, которые говорят, что он только сильно бьет, да, а техники у него маловато. Вот сейчас он все так ненавязчиво, но очень красиво показывает.
Gennady Golovkin. Jim, I'm going to say something that you may say is totally stupid. You know what's bothering me about this fight? What's bothering me about this fight is I don't think David Lemieux's got a game plan. I mean, you've got to have some game plan to fight Gennady Golovkin. Either you're going to circle, or you're going to move in and get your shots off, or whatever. You got to have a game plan. He's walking in and he's getting blasted by the left jab and the left jab is setting up solid right hands, and Golovkin's murdering him. I mean, if I were fighting Golovkin, I definitely would have a game plan. 3-0, Golovkin.
I think Lemieux has come into all the fights he's had so far, including his losses where he ran out of gas, able to impose what he does on his opponent. And he's not able to do that here because Golovkin is a different class of fighter, as he's showing so far.
Maybe Lemieux had a plan coming in, and maybe that plan was disrupted by the fact that Golovkin, in the first 3 rounds, has thrown jabs at 5 times the middleweight division average. 5 times the average of what middleweight fighters throw with the jab.
And that definitely is a game changer that would change anybody's game plan and make them think totally different of what they thought coming into the fight.
And the old adage is everyone has a plan until
they get hit. And talk about getting hit. There was the left hook, and Lemieux is hurt. And here goes Golovkin, looking to finish already in round number 4. Hammers Lemieux with another left hook. Straight right hand up the middle. Left hook again. And here we go. And the Canadian star is hanging in. Hasn't been to the canvas yet, but Golovkin is landing big.
Legs are getting weak, Jim.
Lemieux came in as an enormous underdog, and so far the fight's gone according to Hoyle.
Yeah, he's an even bigger underdog now, based on what we're seeing here. Now, everybody knows that Lemieux has the power to turn it around at any one moment, but Golovkin is so thoroughly tactically in control that it prompts Harold Letterman to say, for instance, I don't even think Lemieux has a plan. Uppercut.
Lemieux does not seem capable of setting traps to get his punches home. He's going to have to go to the wind at some point.
Maybe too late by the time he does that, Max.
Golovkin with responsible defense, good balance, a jab which is working perfectly, landed some power shots in the last round that ruffled Lemieux. It's taking on the aspect of a potential gradual beatdown. But of course, again, Lemieux could turn it around because of his enormous power. Hard right hand for Golovkin.
Get hooked to the back of the head by Lemieux, too.
And by the way, we haven't even mentioned referee Steve Willis. Haven't said his name yet. Which is a credit to both fighters because there have been no clinches, no holding, nothing unusual. They're just firing away.
Oh, good uppercut.
Jab, uppercut combination. Hard right hand by Lemieux. Best punch of the fight so far.
Ну, Гена, давай, наказывай его, наказывай.
Gives Lemieux a little confidence. Tries to come in again, and Gennady rips him with a left hook. Vicious body shot with the right hand.
Ну, Гена начинает забивать гвозди. Давай, давай, забивай.
Punishing Lemieux for hitting him with a right cross.
With that jab, big time.
Golovkin's able to take those shots well because he keeps his chin tucked. So most of the shots that he's hit with, if he's hit cleanly, are higher on the head, on the cheekbone, and not on the chin, which is, of course, the knockdown button.
Also able to take punches well because he's never out of balance.
That's exactly right, Jim. His feet are always spread, always set to accept or give punches.
Abel Sanchez has taught Golovkin as a mnemonic to constantly keep his shoulders balanced, and says if you remember to keep your shoulders on a flat plane, then your body will never tip over too much to one side or another, and your feet will always be solid underneath.
Oh, that body shot early, Jim.
Down goes Lemieux, and Golovkin hit him once while he was down.
6, 7. Hey, you all right? David, you all right? Are you okay? Yeah. You're sure?
First knockdown of the fight, and Lemieux is lucky that there are only a few seconds left in the round. That was only the second time in Lemieux's entire landing one power shot.
Okay, total breath, Dave. Okay.
Head, then followed by a beautiful body shot, left body shot to the liver, and you saw him go down, but this was a bad punch. I would have got disqualified for that punch.
That's right. You already did get disqualified for that punch against Montel Griffin.
Might have got banned from boxing for that.
Hand by Lemieux. Landed his
Вот шестой раунд.
right on Golovkin's chin. And that momentarily shook up Gennady Golovkin.
And gave him a little confidence. And that may have taken it right back.
Now Lemieux starting to throw caution to the wind increasingly when he realizes it's his only chance. And as Roy said earlier, it may be too late.
Lemieux lands another left hook. As he becomes more aggressive, he gets a chance to land a couple of power shots. But of course, he's coming into harm's way and giving Golovkin the chance to land power shots also. There's the left hook to the body again. Didn't catch him quite the way he did the first time.
Lemieux showing some heart though, Jim. Most guys don't bounce back off of a good body shot like that and fight this strongly afterwards.
Many would feign a knockout after being hit when they were already down in order to try to win by disqualification.
Like Montel.
Somewhere Montel is watching and saying, no, I didn't do that.
We good now.
You got him back.
Yeah, well, I got him
Right
back.
hand by Lemieux.
That's why I said we good now.
I thought.
We've seen this from Golovkin before. His concentration seems to wane after he's taken control of a fight.
Well, that was a good body shot by Lemieux just then, though.
Might have been low, but it was a good idea.
Yeah, it was a wonderful idea.
And generally, Golovkin becomes more hittable after scoring a knockdown when he's following up on his advantage and feels more secure.
Golovkin. Lemieux is hurt against the ropes.
Turn Lemieux sideways.
Это седьмой раунд.
Gennady's got a
Прогрессия.
corner. Another right hand lands. Not hard.
Lemieux is making this a fight, I'll tell you that, Jim. He's not laying down for nobody.
He's taking a terrible beating.
Yeah, the referee wants to stop it.
Ну, до сих пор пока что единственное, что Лемью мог удивить Геннадия, это его прическа, да, его волосами. А пока что в бою он ничем не удивил. Геннадий бьет его в одни ворота.
Technical knockout for Golovkin in the 8th.
It was a one-sided, lopsided, and Lemieux earned this date tonight.
There the jabs, caught a hook and still throw a beautiful overhead.
Ну что, Геннадий выиграл бой, да, в 8-м раунде. Наконец, казахстанский орел вылетел из золоченой клетки и расправил крылья. Геннадий объединил пояса WBA, IBO, IBF и Interim WBC. Ну, сейчас черед за Котта или за Канело, кто из них выиграет, да, или же поймать Энди Ли.
We never talked about.
Continues now up to 21 consecutive KOs. His record 34-0, 31 knockouts, and he is now the unified IBF, IBO, WBA,
Interim WBC. Наконец.
Champion of the world, дамы и господа, Gennady Triple G.